Okay, this is an instructional video to show you how to play the 3 chords on the acoustic guitar that you're going to need to know to play Three Little Birds by Bob Marley. Now the 3 chords that you're going to need to know are A major, D major and E major. Now it's important that you learn the 3 chords before you go on to learn the introductory section, the verse section and the chorus section. And the reason for this is because the chords can be quite tricky when you first start, and you're going to want to be able to play them quickly and easily and change between them quickly and easily before learning the other sections. Now the first chord that I'm going to show you how to play is the A major, and it sounds like this. And the way that you play that, you take your left hand and you take your second finger and you press down the 2nd fret on the D string, which is the 3rd string down, and it will sound like this. You then play the 2nd fret on the G string, the 4th string down, and it will sound like this. And then lastly you take your 4th finger and you press down the 2nd fret on the 5th string down, the B string, and it will sound like this. So the chord will sound like this when you play all the strings together. Now at this stage it's important to mention that for this chord, the A major, you do not play the low E string, the string closest to the top. You start the chord on the 2nd string down, which is the A string, so it will sound like this. Okay, that's how you play A major on the acoustic guitar. Now the second chord I'm going to show you is the E major, which sounds like this. And you'll notice for this chord, you do play the low E string, so you play all 6 strings. And how to play this chord is as follows. You firstly take your 2nd finger and you press the 1st fret on the G string, which is the 4th string down, and it will sound like this. You then take your middle finger and you play the 2nd fret on the A string, the 2nd string down, which will sound like this. You then take your 4th finger and you play the 2nd fret on the D string, the 3rd string down, which will sound like this. And then you play, as mentioned, all 6 strings. So the E major will sound like this. Okay, so that's the A major and the E major. Okay, the last chord I've got to show is the D major. Now, to play this, you take your 2nd finger and you play the 2nd fret on the G string, the 4th string down, and it will sound like this. You then take your middle finger and play the 2nd fret on the E string, which is the string closest to the bottom, the highest string, and it will sound like this. You then take your 4th finger and you play the 3rd fret on the B string, the 5th string down, and it will sound like this. Now, again, it's important to mention that you only start this chord on the 3rd string down, so you don't play the A or the E string, you start it on the D, and it will sound like this. So those 3 chords that I've shown you are the A major, the E major, and the D major. Now, just as a last tip, make sure with your left hand that you're not touching any of the other strings and that you're raising your hand so you're only touching the strings that you're meaning to push down. So like that. If you don't do that, the strings will buzz. And you don't want that to happen because it will sound really bad. So lift those strings up and play it really confidently. When you first start to play, by pushing down the strings with your left hand, your fingers are going to hurt a little bit, but that will get easier over time. So those 3 chords again: A major, E major, and D major. Now that you know how to play those 3 chords, you can move on to learning the introductory section, the verse section, and the chorus section to Three Little Birds.